Everybody, CW here, Card Wolf, because I'm always on the hunt for great cards, though today, I have to be honest with you, I am not hunting for cards. This is a non-playing card. It's another mail day. It's like the third mail day I've done this week. That's got to break some sort of record for my channel for sure, but this is not trading cards, and if you're only here for the trading cards, even if that's what you like so much, I think you're still going to be very interested to see what is in this package, because it's something else that I collect. You know, I collect a lot of things. If you watched the channel for a while, you know I collect all kinds of stuff, and I've shown you on the channel some of the other things I collect: comic books, old books, all kinds of postcards, coins. I'm trying to think, record albums. I've shown you collections of some of these things that I've bought. This is something else that I've collected over the years. I don't usually buy this stuff, but if I see something that looks really interesting to me and it is this stuff, then I'll go for it. And this was a lot that I got for pretty cheap, and I think it has some good stuff in it. So we're going to get right into it here. It's Anything Can Happen Day, which is why I felt like today was a good day to open this on the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday. That is always Anything Can Happen Day here, and we'll see how this goes. This is a collection or a lot that I found online, and I guess if you looked at the thumbnail of this episode, you already know what's in here. It is old keys from a long time ago, and found this lot online, and I paid about $30 for it, which is a really good price for what I think is going to be in here. There's also a mystery in here. I know that sounds like, what could he be talking about? There's a mystery in here. There's something in here that I'm going to show you that you probably don't know much about, and once I show you, then you'll know this mystery, this secret about this thing, and whenever you see one, you will know to look for something special about it. If that isn't mysterious enough, I don't know what else to tell you. So, okay, it looks like they put it in here, so I don't see anything else in the box, so I'm going to put that aside. And then all of the keys should be in here, and I guess I can lower the camera now that that box is out of the way and give you a more typical view of the work table where I do all my episodes. Scoot this in a little bit, and then back down, and that should just about do it. And then I can sit down and actually enjoy going through these and showing you what's in here. So again, I sealed pretty good. I've collected old keys for a very long time. I've always been fascinated by old keys, and as I get older and as things change when it comes to keys, I become even more interested in old keys and old locks too. Old keys are actually not that expensive usually. Some are, some are not. Old locks are usually pretty pricey. They, can go from anywhere from like $25 to like thousands of dollars if it's a very old lock, and they go for more if they have the key with them. So none of these are locks. All of these are keys, and there are a couple of key wallets in there, which, if you don't know what that is, that's part of the mystery that I'm about to show you. It has to do with one of the key wallets that were part of this lock, or part of this lot rather. So let me get these out of here. Make sure I get all of them out of here. There we go. That is empty. All right, they did a pretty good job of packaging this, I have to say. That was really well wrapped. And I mean, they're keys, so, you can't damage them that much. Let's get these out of here so I can talk about that. And then we'll go through these keys and you can check it out. So these are key wallets, and I think they still make key wallets. People still use them. I've seen every now and then I see somebody pull one of these out. The reason I know about key wallets is my grandfather used to always have his keys in a key wallet. It was a black leather one, and he'd replace it, every few years or whatever, as often as he needed to. I was fascinated by it because I didn't know anybody else who used one, and I'll go ahead and show you one. This is the most simple design, and it's just basically keys hanging on these hooks that are affixed to this piece of leather. And this is the most simple design of a key wallet. This has some really cool keys in it, actually. I couldn't really see all of the keys in this lot. They didn't do a great job of taking pictures of them. This also has one of these. This is I'll pull this closer to the camera. You can actually see this better. This is a sort of mini replica license plate. And what would happen is if you lost your keys and this was in there, well, these are dirty. These are really dirty. Then someone finding it could just put it in the mail because it had an address on the back. And it would go, in this case, there were a lot of different agencies that did this, but as you can see, bring it even closer to the camera, this would go, in this case, to the Disabled Veterans of America in Cincinnati, Ohio, would get delivered there, and then they would have in their records who this belonged to, and then they would go ahead and forward these keys to that person. And this is pretty cool, actually. This has some good stuff. This one, I don't know if you can see that, this one says Edna on it, so this was maybe a lady's key wallet, I don't know. But this is a screwdriver, actually. This is not a key. And I've found a couple of these over the years, and they're pretty nice. I used to keep one on my key ring. I don't have one now, but maybe I will do that again. It's from Plum Hand Forged Tools. I don't know if you can see that. Bring these closer. I want to make sure you can see some of the cool details on these that make these keys so interesting. There you can see it. Plum's Tools there. So that's pretty cool to find one of those. I've only ever found a few of those before. And then this looks like it was probably a mailbox key. These two may have been padlock keys or mailbox keys. Something nice on there too. That's an old Eagle lock. That's their old logo. I'll show you that. So that's pretty cool. I hope you can see that on the camera there. And then again, mailbox keys or padlock keys. And then this was probably a door key. This says Corbin on it, and Corbin locks and Corbin keys are very, very common. Neat keys nonetheless, and this was probably to a door, while these other keys were to mailbox or padlocks or something like that. So that's the most basic kind of key wallet that you will find. This one, and they had both of these key wallets open, like, you know, like this one is. They were both open in the photo that I saw for this listing, and when I saw this one, I was very intrigued by it because this is not a basic one. This is a little more sophisticated, but you have to know what you're looking at to understand what we might find here. So these are also very nice keys, some very nice designs on the eyes up here. That's the mouth or the eyes. I call them the eyes. People call them different things, but that's what I've always called them. Here's another Corbin key, actually, and another one here. These are, in all likelihood, these are door keys, old door keys from the early part of the 20th century. And that one does not have a brand on it. But anyway, the cool thing about this, I'm going to move these keys behind here. I don't know why that one's on string, but when you see one like this, and you see it's got this spring here, and you see it's got this sort of extra piece of leather behind it, this is the mystery. This is the interesting thing, because what this extra piece of leather is, there's a pocket on the other side of this. And people could put things in that pocket. They might put coins in there. They might put ticket stubs in there. They might put all kinds of stuff in there. And I've bought these before just, you know, mainly wanting to see what is in that pocket. And that was one of the main things that attracted me to this lot. And that is the excitement for me, is to see what is in that pocket. Now, most of the time, I'll be honest with you, most of the time they're empty. They're empty because people just didn't use them, or they didn't even know that they had them in there, or, you know, somebody has gone through and emptied it out already. So I'm hoping that this one is not empty. And we will look at that in a little bit. First, we're going to look at some of the other keys that were in this lot. And these are on a paper clip, which is not a good way to keep your keys together, because paper clips are not particularly sturdy. And there are things like key rings and whatnot. Let me get my hand in there so this will focus properly. So these are, this is a cylinder lock. This is basically, these are all padlock stuff. This might be a luggage key, quick set padlocks. These aren't that old, and that's not really what I'm looking for to show you in this lot. Let me show you some of the older keys here. This is a nice key ring here. Very nice sturdy key ring. That's what I'm talking about when you know, and you really don't find key rings like this anymore unless you go to a hardware store. Every now and then you'll see a big, nice, thick key ring like that, but not so much anymore, and it's a shame, because those are really the ones you want. These are door keys or padlock keys. It's hard to know. This one is probably maybe to a mailbox or something like that, but these are very old keys. Most of the keys that you see that I'm holding and that are in this lot are from the very early 1900s. So these would be, you know, maybe even manufactured in the late 1800s, early 1900s. There are a couple of bigger ones. This is a really nice looking one here. You can see how big that is compared to all the other ones. That's one of the reasons I bought this. It's hard to find bigger keys. Now these days there are like craft and decor manufacturers who will make keys like this, and you can hang them on your wall for decoration, or they can be part of some sort of craft or scrapbooking project that you're doing, something like that. So they're manufacturing keys to look old, but they aren't actually old. This one is authentically old, and it's nice to have that. That was probably to a door or a gate. If somebody had like a big wooden outdoor gate or something like that, they might use a key like that. It was not likely to like a jail cell or anything. You often think of keys like that being to like a dungeon or something, and in fact that's really, the keys for those things were much more complicated. There's a very simple tooth on this key, as you can probably see here. It's a very basic sort of look. A jail key would have a much more complicated tooth on it, so it's nothing like that. It's a pretty simple key. There's another small one with another nice larger key on there. That's a really pretty key, again, that has a pretty basic tooth on it. There's nothing complicated about that. So this was maybe to a shed or a door, maybe outdoors, something like that. Another really nice key ring. Like to see that. This is what's called a push key, and this is not a kind of key that they make anymore. You can see that the teeth, instead of being along the side the way most keys are, like you see here, the tooth is at the front, and you would insert this into a padlock, and you would push, and the tooth would grab, and then you would turn it. And if the teeth didn't grab in just the right way, those locks were absurdly easy to pick, it turned out, so they didn't make those for too long. These are basic master lock keys, I think. Let me see if I can read that. Yeah, those are master lock keys. Those are extremely common. Those are for padlocks. These little keys were probably for luggage, or they may have been for a jewelry box, something like that. Put those aside and get into one of these other bigger key rings here. A lot of rust on these, but some nice old keys here for sure. These are door keys, most of these. Some of them might be padlock keys. This one might be, actually. But most of these are old door keys, and these were in use for a long time. I mean, houses made in the late 1800s or early 1900s were made very well. And if people didn't go in and like change all the locks out or whatever, these are the kind of keys that they'd use for the interior doors of houses. You want to lock a bedroom door behind you, or if you had turned your house into various rooms for rent or something like that, these are the kind of keys that you'd have back in those days. And you'd see those kind of locks in houses, or at least I did, all the way up into the 80s and even the early 90s. You don't see them anymore unless you go into a really old house. So nice to get so many of those. I mean, these kinds of keys, they're common enough, but you can still get usually like $1, $2 per key on something like this. And see how many are on here. I mean, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Looks like there's at least a dozen keys on here. So I paid $30 for this. You can see why I went for this lot and why I was excited to get it for so cheap. Some of these keys these are old flat keys. These are also surprisingly padlock keys. They're to really I don't want to call them cheap padlocks, but they weren't particularly great. This is a Presto key, and those were very common back then. And this one's actually a very beautiful key. I don't think I have one with that design on there. That's really quite nice. Let me get that so you can see the design on there. It's a really pretty key. That one I will keep and put in my collection. That's a really nice one. I like that. Most of these are pretty common padlock keys. These flat ones that you're seeing down here, this might have been a luggage key as well. That's kind of pretty. Oh, it's a master lock. So that was to an old, might have been to a luggage lock, but probably to an old padlock. And then this last big ring of keys over here. I mean, you can see how many are on this. Let me again bring it up to the camera. I mean, there's probably 20 keys on there, so that's pretty sweet. And you don't see old key rings like this. I mean, this one opens, you just pull it like that, and you can see you can slip your keys on that way. And so a lot of nice, most of these are padlock keys. I think that's a Miller there. Yeah, that is a Miller right there. I don't know if you can read that. Miller was a very common brand of padlock for quite a while back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. So you would see those quite a bit. There's another Miller there. Actually, you can see the logo a lot better there. So you see that. Oh, this is a car key. Yeah, this is a Ford. This is an old car key. This would be a car from the 20s or 30s, like a Model T or a Model A. You don't see the cars anymore, but you do see the keys. This is probably a $15 to $20 key. So that's a winner right there. I didn't even see that when I was looking at this lot. So that's a huge win right there. That's a really nice find. I have a couple of these, but this one's in very nice shape, and happy to add another one. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's a very old car key from the 20s or 30s. If you've never seen one before, that was probably to like an old Model T or maybe a Model A, something like that. So that's pretty cool. These are mailbox keys and padlock keys. Here's another Miller, it looks like, and then some of these small padlock keys. So very cool. That's really nice. What is this? This is looks like some sort of fob for the key ring. Let me see if I can get that in focus so you can check that out. That looks like a skyscraper, actually. Let me see what's on the back of that. Okay, yeah, so this is an insurance company. See if the camera will focus. There you go. The Ravelers Insurance Company of Hartford, Connecticut. And this is the same deal as the license plate tag, the mini license plate tag that we saw in the first key wallet. You could drop this in a mailbox and it would go to this insurance company, and they would have this number on file in their records as to who this belonged to, and then they would mail these keys back to the owner. And so it was, oh, and here's a, probably recognize what that is. That's kind of a cheap, very cheap sort of wrench there that you could use and keep on your key ring. Nothing, no markings on that to show me who may have made that. So another mailbox key there, or luggage key, not sure. So anyway, the moment of truth has come, and I hope you enjoyed looking at those keys. If you've never seen them before, I hope you enjoyed seeing that. I feel very happy, you know, even if there's nothing in here, which is probably the case, I still feel very happy about the keys that came out of here. Some nice ones. This one's actually bent from use. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get this in the camera as well. This one can kind of see that the handle here is a little bent from use, so yeah, I can really feel it. So this one almost certainly turned this way, and just the metal started to wear out. That's pretty cool. Love to see signs of wear on keys. It just makes them feel even more, I don't know, it makes me feel closer to that time period and the age when these keys were used. So get in and see this. Let's see what is in here. I hope this is really, really dirty, as you can probably see, but I hope something is in here. Usually there's nothing in these, but sometimes there are. I always had fantasies of finding like some really rare coin or like a ticket stub to a ball game or something like that. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that I'm hoping that we pull out of here, but usually you don't. This one actually, it looks like there is an outline, a very slight outline here. I'm just going to cheat a little bit and feel, and it does feel like there's a coin in here. Actually, it feels pretty convincingly like there's a coin. I'm not going to press too hard in case there's anything else. There is stuff in here, so that is awesome. Let's see what this is. Very carefully pull this out. Actually, this just looks like the, yeah, this just looks like the, you can see how to put your keys on. Well, you probably can't see because it's not in focus, but this is just the literature that came with the key wallet originally. So that's not very exciting. It's a Buxton key wallet, and you can kind of see, here's how you put your key on the loop in case you couldn't figure it out. It's pretty easy to figure that out. I don't know why they thought they needed to put instructions. And then they have a key identification service. I've seen things like this before. I can get it open. Wow. This is really, it's pretty grimy. Let's see, here we go. And so you would just put your, you know, fill out your details there, and if anybody found it, they could, you know, send it back to you if they wanted to. Let me see if there's, does feel like there's something else in here, so I'm going to be very careful about getting it out. Yeah, I think it is a coin, so that's awesome. I've only ever found nickels in these, and I've only ever found maybe two in the long time. I'm just going to have to dump it out in my hand here. It's just one coin, and it is a Buffalo nickel, so that is pretty cool. That's only happened a couple of times for me in the past, so that's really neat. I'm delighted to find that. Buffalo nickels are not super valuable, so this is not like a huge valuable find. I'm curious to see what the date is, though, if you can even see it. A lot of times with Buffalo nickels you can't. This one you can. It's 1936, so that's pretty cool. Buffalo nickels don't have a lot of value unless it's a couple of really rare ones. Actually 1937, I believe. And if Ogre Coins is watching this, Ogre Coins is a great channel, and he often comments on my videos. Super nice guy. He sent me emails. Wonderful guy. Ogre, if you're watching this, you can verify if I'm right about this, but I think in 1937, there was an error made on a very small number of buffalo nickels where the buffalo only had 3 legs. This one clearly has 4. I'll make sure you can see that too. But that's a very rare buffalo nickel error coin in 1937. This is not that, and this is a Philadelphia mint one. If there was something under where it said 5 cents below where the buffalo is standing, there was a letter under there like an S, that would make this coin worth a little bit more. Buffalo nickels minted in San Francisco are a little bit rare. It doesn't have a letter, so that means it was minted in Philadelphia, and those are the most common ones. So at least you can see the date on this. Many, many buffalo nickels, you can't see the date. So that's good. This is still a circulated buffalo nickel. It's probably worth about maybe $3, maybe $4 at the most. Again, Ogre Coins, if you're watching this, you can verify any of the things that I'm saying and call me out if I've gotten it wrong. I'm not a nickel guy. I do collect coins, as some of you know, but I'm definitely not a nickel guy. I've never really collected nickels that much. But, if this had been a dime, like a mercury dime from this area, would be made of silver. It would be 90% silver, and that would be a much more valuable coin. That would be like maybe $10 or $15, whereas buffalo nickels are very, very common. It's good that it has the date, though. That does give it some value. If it didn't have the date, then that nickel would really just be worth like maybe 50 cents or $1, but this one's probably, I don't know, a few bucks at least. So there you go. And it's great that there was actually something in there. I always hope that I'm going to find things in there, and so it's really cool that there was actually something in there. I'm really glad that I opened this on the channel. I was thinking, nobody's going to care about this, and there's probably nothing in there, but I'm really glad that I decided to do it. These are really dirty. As you can see, my hands are really dirty now, but I will scrub them off after this episode. Thank you for watching this. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. I hope you'll give the episode a thumbs up if it was interesting to you. Anything can happen today. I feel like I have free license to show you unusual stuff, and this is probably something that most of you who collect sports cards and whatnot really had no idea about, or maybe, just you probably didn't know I collected it, and you probably didn't know how collectible some of these things are. There are key collectors out there for sure, and this was a great deal. Like I said, I paid about $30 for this. The Ford car key on its own is at least, I think that's at least a $10, $15 key, so that's half of it right there. And then, the rest of these, if I broke this down and decided I wanted to resell some of these, which I may do, then that would be really easy. If you are interested in having any of these keys, these flat keys would be really easy to send in an envelope through the mail, some of these flat ones. So if you're really into this, if you're watching this with your son or your daughter, and they're really intrigued by these old keys, I'd be happy to send you one. Just drop me an email, cwcardwolf@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to mail you a key. That'd be no problem for me to do. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tomorrow is, of course, Dorking with dice, and I plan to do that with my son, as we often do, because he's the only one who really knows how it works. I get confused about how everything works on this channel, but he sets me straight, and he will do so again tomorrow on Dorking with dice. I look forward to doing that, and I look forward to seeing you back here. Hope you're having a really great week and just enjoying whatever life's throwing at you. I'll see you back here tomorrow, and as always, happy collecting.